Lords, can I make four short points in relation to these amendments, all of which I oppose? The first is that it was suggested by Lord Hunt that employers would get locked into guaranteed hours payments. Just remind the noble Lord that all contracts of employment may be varied by mutual agreement, or if not, they can be terminated and there can be re-engagement on fresh terms. Second point is this, that the noble Lord Hunt mentioned the industrial reality. The industrial reality of 0 hours contracts is a complete disparity of power. 80% of those on 0 hours contracts would prefer a permanent contract. But those on 0 hours contracts are completely at the mercy of the employer. They don't know how many hours they're going to work tomorrow, let alone next week, and they don't know how much income they're going to make at the end of any week. And therefore, a worker on a 0 hours contract does not want an argument or to fall out with or have a disagreement with the employer. And that's a vital component to the legislation which my noble friend is proposing. The third point I want to make is that this bill already has escape routes for the employer, and these amendments are simply designed to increase the ways in which employers can evade the obligations of a guaranteed hours contracts. There are three that I notice. One is short-term contracts. We will see a deluge of short-term contracts introduced to evade guaranteed hours contracts for 0 hours workers. Secondly, there is the possibility, because these provisions relate only to employees, there will be an incentive for employers, in order to evade guaranteed hours contracts, to recategorise their workers. And again, the industrial reality is that it will be very difficult for the 0 hours employee to resist recategorisation as a self-employed worker. And thirdly, there is the issue of the reference period itself. As I mentioned on the last day we were here, already, because of the reference period is to be 12 weeks, we're talking at over 1 million workers who will never at any point reach that reference period and so be entitled to the benefit of a guaranteed hours contract. And my fourth and final point is that reference is made to small and medium-sized enterprises, those with less than 50 and those with less than 250 workers. I looked up the statistics. The latest government statistics date to 2023. But from that, we can see that 8,634,000 employees are employed in companies with less than 50 employees, and 12,230,000 employees are employed in companies employing less than 250. So if there's to be any exemption for small companies, one is talking about a very significant proportion of the workforce. I think the noble lady Baroness Noakes mentioned something around half the employed workforce in the private sector. That seems to me about right.